Yeah, I think it can be for sure. But Woodley, he's used it also to fight, taller guys like he fought Wonderboy. So, of course, he knows how to deal with that. But if I can use this well, of course, can be, something to play on my side.
Talk to us a little bit about this journey, because it's almost like you've been on this pathway where you win a fight and everyone goes, all right, Damian's going to have the title shot now. Then you don't get the title shot. Then they throw another killer at you. He's going to get the title shot now. Then you don't get it again. Were you ever frustrated during that time? Did you ever think, I may never get the second title shot?
Yeah, no, I always believed that I would get the second. But of course, I was very frustrated. But what I learned with the experience and the years in the UFC is that I cannot let this frustration take my soul and control me. So it's easy to say, hard to do, but lately in the last years I was able to do that, to control this frustration and just keep going.
Did it ever get close to the point where it did sort of, as you say, take your soul and really got into your head? Did you ever have a low where you thought this may never happen and this is really, really frustrating me?
No, I never. I always believed that I was going to get the title shot. Sometimes I feel that my team was even more frustrated than I was, and that was, sometimes heavy for me because, they are so good in what they do, and I like them so much, and they are one of the reasons that I, got to this level. That, I was kind of uncomfortable, but as soon as we start another camp, everything goes away and we just believe again.
Damian, how about you get the title shot and it's on short notice? I mean, did you say, come on, guys, I forgot all this way?
Yeah, when I get the title 5 weeks ago, we said, come on, guys, let's, we first talk about the end of August, and then actually, I would prefer September, of course. Everybody knows, all you guys know, and all you guys are specialists and know that a camp, especially for a title fight, can't be less than 10 weeks. But the good thing is that I always keep training. I never really stop to training. So even, after the fight I was traveling, giving seminars. I was in LA in my affiliate school here, but I was training with the guys, gi, no gi, and lifting some weight. So that was a good thing. I didn't came from nowhere, nothing to 100%. So that helps, but of course 5 weeks is not the ideal, but that's what we have, and that's where we're gonna, be prepared to do on Saturday.
You've fought some of the best guys in the world. Where does Tyron rank on that list of people?
I think he's as good as all these guys like Carlos Condit and Masvidal and he's Jake Shields, all this. He's pretty good. He's pretty good. That is a reason that he's the champion, like I said before. And I really don't know how we're gonna match up our styles, on Saturday. It's something that will be maybe surprise for me, surprise for him. I don't know. Let's see on Saturday.
People talk about his striking, of course, his power, but he came from a wrestling base. What do you think about his grappling? Obviously, that's just
he's a good grappler, especially a good wrestler. But I'm pretty confident on my wrestling because I've been training with the best wrestlers. I've been coming to the United States since after my Anderson loss to train wrestling, so I also developed a lot, and I had a chance to train with great wrestler, college wrestler, championship and Olympic wrestlers, so in here, United States. So, I feel pretty confident with that.
You've had some struggles in 5-round fights before. What tweaks have you made to make sure that if this does go the distance, it comes out your way?
Yeah, I think, it's the last 5 rounds fight that I did, Conte of course, but it didn't go 5 rounds, but LaFleur, I think I did well, especially because I was coming back from my shoulder problem, and I did 5 rounds controlling other rounds with a guy who is very skilled and with a very good stamina. So, and I trained a year ago to a 5 rounds fight against Condit, so I'm pretty confident that, I will be able to handle those 5 rounds well.
Not only can you win the belt here, but you can tie the record for most wins in UFC history with Michael Bisping.
Yeah.
What does just this whole thing mean to you? I think if you guys submission, you'll tie the record for most submissions.
Yeah.
It's just the whole thing.
Yeah, that's something that I was thinking a couple weeks ago. Yeah. But this week I just try to take this away from my mind because this will maybe make me lose a little bit my focus, and I don't want that. So I just, would be great, of course, if I win, especially if a submission because all these records. Mm-hmm. But records, will be broken one day, and the thing that, you know, if I get will be more mine forever, will be the belt. So the most important is to do well, to fight well, to do my best to get this belt on Saturday.
You have fought for a title before. Did you go back and revisit that fight and kind of see what lessons you could learn?
Sorry?
You fought for a title before. Did you go back and revisit that fight and sort of see what you could learn?
I didn't watch again, but of course, you know, I was thinking, not for this camp, but all these years, all the mistakes that I had in that fight. There was so many mistakes that I made, not just for the fight, but especially before the fight in the camp, technically and mentally, and you know, a lot of things that one day I will say what is that, because it's too long history. But and of course I learned from that, and I'm not gonna make the same mistakes again. It doesn't mean I go in there and I'm gonna win or lose, but I'm not gonna make the same mistakes.
If you said that it was too short notice for this fight, only 5 weeks, was the UFC just gonna move on without you and give someone else a title shot?
Yeah, I think so. I think, yeah, because they need somebody to fight George, you know, St. Pierre in November. So they would put somebody in. If I let this pass, who knows if I would get, you know, the title again, you know. So I couldn't just say no, I'm gonna wait right now. So I said, okay, 5 weeks, let's do the best we can do in 5 weeks.
How do you feel about Tyron? Because it seems like he was looking for a fight with a lot of other people for UFC 214. Were you bothered by the fact that it took so long for you to finally get this title shot? Like Mark said, 5 weeks out. And what are your feelings about him as champion for not really wanting to fight you for such a long time, you being the last option for him to fight you at UFC 214?
You know, everybody here, nobody is stupid here. All you guys know that who decides is the UFC, is not the champion, right? And if UFC decides that, or if Tyron say he decides that, actually we know that UFC decides that, it's not the champion. So, you know, I don't care. I just ready to do what I need to do.
Se o tempo foi suficiente, sobre a defesa de queda do Woodley, sobre as perto dos 40. Essas perguntas são meio negativas. Onde é que você vê o lado positivo e como é que é o seu trabalho para achar esse lado positivo de motivação para essa?
Eu, na verdade, hoje em dia, como eu falei, eu consigo abstrair muito bem essas coisas. Eu entendo que é a curiosidade de todo mundo, é a curiosidade. E são perguntas recorrentes não só dessa luta, mas de várias lutas, né? Ah, o cara tem uma boa defesa de queda, o cara não vai querer ir pro chão. E o negócio de ter pouco tempo, mas a partir do momento que eu aceitei a luta, eu tenho que olhar para frente e abstrair todo esse resto. Eu respondo profissionalmente, que eu tenho que responder, mas entra por um ouvido e sai pelo outro.
Se a gente for ver, parece, tudo leva a entender que essa luta foi casada agora para que seja o tempo hábil possível para que o vencedor enfrente o seu campeão.
Isso.
Como é que você vê isso depois de 6, 7 vitórias na categoria, ficar à disposição, entre aspas, de um outro lutador que não gosta de 3 anos?
É complicado falar agora, ainda mais que eu tô há 2 dias numa disputa, mas para mim isso na verdade pode ser, é um peso, porque eu vou ter que disputar em 5 semanas, mas ao mesmo tempo pode ser uma bênção se eu ganhar a luta e tiver a oportunidade de lutar com o St. Pierre em novembro. É uma coisa que pode mudar minha vida toda. Então, eu procuro não pensar nessas hipóteses ainda, porque a hipótese que eu tenho que pensar é se o Woodley vai fazer isso ou aquilo, é isso que eu tenho que pensar agora.
Uma last question, guys. Você vai entrar com a mesma música para esse sábado?
Não, vou entrar com a mesma música de sempre.
Qual foi a importância dessa banda?
Eu sempre gostei de Linkin Park. Infelizmente aconteceu com o vocalista o que acontece com muitas pessoas. Elas chegam num nível de fama, às vezes de riqueza, e percebem que não é a fama nem o dinheiro que vai trazer uma paz, e a pessoa às vezes percebe isso tarde demais e não consegue segurar a onda. Mas enfim, voltando à música, é isso aí, eu vou entrar com a mesma música de sempre, que é uma música que eu me sinto bem e gosto.
Demian, can you summarize a couple of points you just covered?
I don't remember all, but he said about the short training camp and the things that, you know, people ask about. I'm 39 right now. It's all negative question if this bothers me. And I said, not at all, because, you know, I learned with the years to abstract that and just think, you know, in my training, my strategy. And I respond, I will answer always, because, you know, I'm a professional, I don't care. But this is something that doesn't stick in my mind. I just ask what I think, and that's it. I don't stop too much to complain and be, blah, blah. And actually, about my age, you know, I feel better than ever, so that doesn't really bother me. Then he asked about the music, if I'm gonna do my intro, you know, my walkout with the same music, with Linkin Park, Numb. And I said, yeah, that I like, you know, I like the music, I like the band. And then I said, unfortunately, what happens to Chester was something that people sometimes, it's too late, they realize too late that, you know, just money and fame is not enough, and they get depressed, and that's common. That's why, you know, when I fight here, I fight because I love to be here, and not, you know, I not just talk about money and fame, because I know that's not the most important. It is important, but it's not, you know, it's like number 10 or something like that.
Demian, just as an observer of the sport, what do you think of the main event on Saturday? Do you think Jones wins again, or do you think Cormier?
Yeah, I just said now that I don't give predictions anymore, because, you know, I don't want to have troubles. You know, I like both. John is always a great guy to me. Since the first time I met him back in 2010, right after I fight Anderson, we gave an interview together with AJ also, Anthony Johnson, here in LA, and he was such a nice guy, and he always a nice guy to me. And DC, you know, I have big friends there, like Leandro Vieira, his jiu-jitsu coach, was my roommate back in 2000 when he was like 15 years old. And, you know, his brother is one of my teachers in jiu-jitsu, Leonardo Vieira, as he's the best man in my wedding party, you know, 15 years ago. And so I hate to give predictions, because, you know, because we are so inside there. We are with everybody, we have histories with everybody. That's what I don't like.
Do you expect it to be a good fight?
Oh, that's for sure. That's good fight will be for sure. I'm no doubt about that. You know, John is a while without fighting, but at the same time he won the last fight. So who knows what is gonna happen? I'm sure, you know, nobody really knows 100%. You know, it's something that will be decided, you know, in a very small difference.
Okay, Demian, on Saturday we could have, you know, 2 Brazilian champions again. What do you think that would mean for the country and Brazil as a whole?
I think that will mean the MMA and especially UFC getting back more on media. You know, in Brazil, MMA, especially UFC, is in a mainstream media, and Chris and I and Nogueira and Anderson and Shogun, we did in our lives, you know, the last 6 or 7 years, the biggest shows in Brazil on TV, like everything that, sometimes it's hard to explain here in the United States, but everything, like, you know, the top TVs in Brazil, all the top shows will be in all these shows. And I just felt the last year start to drop a little bit the interest for MMA and the UFC. And I think one of the reasons is, you know, the lack of Brazilian champions and renovation, I mean, new people coming. So I hope, you know, we get the belt and we bring back this to Brazil, because it's so strong in our culture that, you know, I want that to keep strong.
Okay, gang.
Thank you. Thank you very much, guys.